Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast, your go-to source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We hope you tune in often for all things people management, organizational development and change, organizational leadership, and social impact related. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with Human Capital Innovations Podcast. Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. In this HCI podcast episode, I talk with Jason Sweeting about helping people to believe in themselves no matter what they are facing. Jason Sweeting, welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. It is a pleasure to be with you today. I'm super excited to have our conversation. You have such an interesting background. I think you're going to bring a lot of unique insights to me and my listeners today. We're going to be focusing on helping people to believe in themselves no matter what they are facing. And the reality is we all have our own stuff, right? We all have our own baggage. We all have those negative internal voices, perhaps even actual real life voices all around us. Yes. Giving us limiting thoughts. We need to learn to disconnect from those limiting thoughts and rather focus on the empowering thoughts. Believe in ourselves, so that we can accomplish. And that's what we're going to focus on today. As we get started, I wanted to share Jay's bio with everybody. As a lifelong musician, Jay Sweeting enjoys playing piano, guitar, and singing, but gigs get canceled and opportunities in music sometimes fall through. He worked hard and studied the market for countless thousands of hours. That knowledge that he has shared has helped himself and others gain control of their financial lives. And Jay, of course, is involved heavily in financial investments and such. And I'll let you, Jay, talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. But what a wonderful background. I have to admit, the musical background also is something that resonates with me. Just before the recording, I was down in my man cave in the basement, doing a little bit of drums and guitar. So sweet. I enjoy that. I'm not good, but I enjoy it. and so that's wonderful. Anything else you would like to share with us by way of your background or personal context before we dive on into the conversation?
No, just very, very happy to be here. Thank you, John, for inviting me and making it so comfortable for me to be here. And thank you to the listeners for tuning in. Now, you might be driving or you might be walking or exercising, but I will promise you this. Get ready, because we're going to talk about leadership in a way that you've never heard before, but something that's so empowering and so insightful that I believe that it's going to make your life go from one level to the next. So you're on the right podcast today. Let's get it.
Wonderful. Well, maybe we can start and you can tell us a little bit about how you got to where you're at. As I read in the bio, you have a bit of a musical background, but you're heavily involved in financial work. And just in the pre-interview, we were talking about some of the cool stuff you're doing with coding, new algorithms and things like that. How did you get to, focusing on financial investments and also helping and empowering people to take control over their lives?
That's a great question. I think what did it for me was being broke. That typically does it. I gave my life to music. When I mean, it's my life, everything. I became really, really good. Been on television, traveled all around, playing music, playing piano, singing for folks. And there's no room, even to this day, there's no room that's safe. If I have the microphone, I don't care who's in the crowd, we're gonna have a great time. But one thing happens when you're part of what they call the gig economy. Gigs fall through, but bill collectors never do. I mean, they just keep showing up right on time. In my life, I found that
they're as predictable as death and taxes, right?
I'm telling you, I've never seen a bill collector say, nah, we'll just do it next month. Never seen it. So I think that there became like this moment where I realized that I needed to be more stable while still being free. And the thing that drew me to the markets was the independence. There's a trader and he's quoted as saying, trading is the only thing that you can do where you don't need customers and you don't need inventory and you can still be solvent. Walmart is a great company, but run out of the product everybody wants to buy and Walmart is just building. And I think that if you don't have the inventory, even a big behemoth like Walmart is in trouble. Apple's in trouble if they run out of iPhones today. They're in trouble. I needed for myself a way to be solvent without having to, I guess, depend upon your booking agents, depending upon people to buy my talent, depending on us. There were too many people involved in whether or not I can feed myself or my family. And it drew me to the markets. And from there, I just began to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. Did I mention that I failed a little bit? I failed and failed, and I was terrible. I didn't know an up from down. I didn't know support from resistance. I just didn't know anything. It was bad. Read a few books, tried a few things, and developed a style of trading that has been so simplistic and so easy that not only was I able to retire myself and retire my wife, we live pretty good. I was able to do the same thing for other students. Right now, I'm somewhere around 3,200 students served. And I mean that with a capital S, 3,200 students served. We've changed lives. We've made millionaires. We've gotten people to fire their boss. We've gotten people to have family vacations. We've de-stressed marriages because we know how to help people get into the market and out of the market with the money that they desire. At the end of the day, if I can do that, then I'm doing my job. And that's how I serve.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I serve.
Well, that's wonderful. What a great background, and obviously financial matters and financial trading and such. That's not necessarily for everybody.
Yes.
Now, those are the people you serve, and some listeners may have specific interest in that. But beyond the financial trading element that you focus on a lot in your work, you also you do a lot of work just generally in terms of helping people. Address those skeletons, the shadows, the negative self-talk and the disbelieving thoughts, right? And so that's really what I want to focus on today as we move into this new year and we're establishing goals for ourselves. We have New Year's resolutions. We're trying to figure out how to really fulfill our potential, whether that's financial goals, whether that's health, eating, physical exercise goals, relationship goals, maybe it's workplace goals, maybe you're leading a team of people and you want to lead them more successfully. Every time we have these resolutions and these goals, what usually happens for most people is you put some thought into it, you have determination, and then a week or two into the new year, you fall down, you're off track, and you have a choice. You either pick yourself back up and you start again, or you say, it's not going to work, and you kind of give up. And most people give up. Most people give up. And so how do we get past that? How, recognizing, as you said, with your gig work and with your musical work, how do you get past the failures? Because they will happen. All of us, every single one of us are going to experience failure over and over and over again in life. And it can become debilitating. But how do we get past that so that we can lean into the disruption, the failure, and rather than having that turn into this consistent negative self-talk, it moves into the realm of like, let's pick ourselves back up. Let's get motivated. Let's try again. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's now move forward. And that's going to be important for us as individuals, for our families, but also for the teams of people that we lead.
Well, this is when it gets really, really good, because I have 3 things for you. Okay. 3 things for you that bulletproof. Everybody, if you're driving or whatever, make sure that, don't take any notes while you're driving, but you might want to, mentally jot these down. You have goals, you have resolutions, right? Goals and resolutions. And the last one is a 2-piece, is forgiveness and faith. Okay. You're going to have to forgive and have faith. So goals, great. Everybody has them. Everybody has goals, but the first 2 letters matter way more than the whole word together, right? You have to go. If you have goals, they're only as good as your ability to go. And when I say go, you have to move on the goal, move on it. If your goal is to run, then get up, go towards the goal, go. The second thing that you have to remember is that when we have these resolutions, they come from a word. The word is resolve. To resolve. I'm a musician, so I understand resolve and resolution so well. We have, everybody wants to get resolved. For the land of the free. Watch this, everybody. I'm going to bother you. And the home of the. You guys are like, just say it already. Resolve it. Brave, right? That brings it back together to resolve. Now, resolutions don't happen in the mind of men. They happen in the heart of men. They happen in the soul of men. They happen where men aren't seen, to be resolved. So let's talk about what's going on, because your goals is what everybody can see. It's what you're going after, right? Hey, I want to lose weight, so I went to the gym. That's, everybody can see that. But we don't know by what you go after where your resolution lies, because you have to resolve things inside. If you've ever been to a funeral, one thing you might see is the reading of resolutions. And what they say is, be it resolved that on this day, this person passed away. Be it resolved, be it resolved. There's so many resolutions that happen because of the finality of leaving the earth. I think that people have lots of goals, but few resolutions. And they have to not happen on pen and paper or on your to-do list on your cell phone, but they have to happen in your heart, in your soul, and in your spirit, in the part of you that no one can see. You have to resolve to yourself that not only am I going to run, because that's a goal, that's me going, but what I am going to do is have a greater reason for running. Now, resolutions, because that's point number 2. I'm getting to faith in a minute, but resolutions, they have to come from outside of you to work in you. The reason why I work as hard as I do is because I have a wife and children depending on me. My resolution was birthed because of my want or desire to improve the lives of the people around me. Listen to me, everybody. You will not have a resolution if it is dependent upon you. Even Jesus, my greatest leader ever, and maybe somebody else's faith, it goes another way, and this is no hit on your faith. This is, I can only talk out of my experience. And I know John, his faith just went, oh God, here it goes. But let's not get crazy religious. Let's just talk about leadership. We can talk about leadership. Presidents, pastors, social leaders, their cause and their conviction comes from their desire to make somebody else better because of their own existence. You will not find a resolution inside of yourself. You will find it by serving somebody else. That's the best ones you're ever going to find. You know why you want to lose weight? You want to lose weight because it'll lower your cholesterol. Why do you want your cholesterol lower? Because you want to walk your daughter down the aisle.
Yeah.
That's the why. That's the resolution. It's there. It's walking the daughter down the aisle. It's seeing the grandkids' graduation. It's being able to travel or surf, or it's being able to have some fun with your spouse, or being able to actually enjoy shopping. When you go out, you don't want to buy the clothes that are too tight. You want to buy the nice clothes that fit you well. Well, that's your why. You want to look good for the event coming up. Well, you want to impress this. It's outside of you that you will find your resolutions.
I'm excited to announce the publication of my new book from HCI Press, Bluer Than Indigo Leadership: The Journey of Becoming a Truly Remarkable Leader. Early in my adult life, I learned about an Asian proverb that translates as bluer than indigo. If you think about the color indigo, it is a brilliant, deep, and vibrant blue, what some would call the bluest of blues. To have something that is bluer than indigo is rare and truly remarkable. Contrary to popular myth, there is no one-size-fits-all or cookie-cutter approach to effective leadership. There's no silver bullet, no secret sauce, no go-to model that will solve all of our problems. The truth is, great leaders have all had their unique strengths and flaws, and have all had to discover and then pave their own distinctive path in their life's journey to fulfill their leadership potential. Bluer Than Indigo Leadership will help you discover your own path and explore those ordinary, everyday actions that will help you respond to an uncertain future and produce extraordinary results for individuals, teams, and organizations.
sorry.
before we go to the last point, Jay,
Mm-hmm.
you said so many really great things there.
Uh-huh.
So much of what you were just saying comes back to, for example, Simon Sinek's why, the
Mm-hmm.
why of work, find your why. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
so very important. And in my mind, as you were saying that, I'm thinking we have like these intrinsic versus extrinsic factors,
Of course.
right? In order for us to stay motivated, to
Mm-hmm.
to to be resilient in the face of failure, in the face of setbacks and struggles and the inevitable frustrations that we all
Yes.
experience in all
Yes.
aspects of our lives. Like I
Yes.
don't care if you're talking about like relationships with friends, there's ups and downs. If you have a marriage, no matter how strong your marriage is, there's going to be ups and downs, right?
Of course. Of
In the
course.
workplace, with your career, learning an instrument, whatever thing you're talking about, there are going to be setbacks. That's inevitable. And so
Mm-hmm.
having the resilience to be able to deal with those setbacks, that largely is built upon that larger why, that in one
Yes.
sense is external to yourself, like you were just saying. But another way of framing that is in terms of the intrinsic motivation that is maybe motivated by something outside yourself, but it comes from within as well, right? And so
Right.
it's this kind of interesting way of understanding the dual role of what motivates us. And
I think that's cool. That's
if
very
I'm
cool.
only motivated
Yes.
by more stuff, right? That is more hollow than a why, a purpose, a meaning, a motivation that's built
That's way more
upon,
hollow. Way more
for
hollow.
example,
And you'll fail every time.
my
And you'll
family,
fail every
right?
time.
Like you said.
You'll fail
So
every time.
and you know, I think so I listeners know I'm a scholar practitioner, I'm a professor, I do
Mm-hmm.
consulting work and things like this podcast on the side. Going through a PhD program, that's an example, I think, of something that just takes a lot of resilience.
It
PhD
does.
programs suck. They take a really long time. You have to deal with lots of politics. Academia is a strange beast. It's just, you know, going through and navigating all of that's really hard. And most people who start PhD programs never finish. Why don't they ever finish? Well, there's 1,000 reasons why people may not finish, but be able to be able to get through it is really challenging. And when I talk to people that say they want to go on for a PhD, get their doctorate, you know, I always start with, well, why? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it so you can get those letters behind your name? If that's your why, most of those people never finish. Some of them do, but most of them never do. If your why is that's the career that's going to give me meaning, fulfillment, and purpose, to be a professor, for example, or to do research that has meaning to society, or because I want to provide a meaning, you know, a really great stability and be able to take care of my family. You
Right.
know, if that's your why, that has way more sustainability and staying power in your life. So when you hit the hard elements,
Yes.
you're willing and able to push through them. Right now, that's just one example. That's one that I've dealt with in my life. Everyone has their own thing, right? Everyone has their own struggles, trials, difficulties, and you have to find your why. And when you have that really meaningful, important why, then you are able to persevere, to be resilient, and to get past those hurdles and to move forward. So I just wanted to really highlight what you just said, because that is so hugely important.
I think it's huge, but it's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the last point. The last point is that you have to forgive and have faith. That's a couple. So call it's 2F. You have to have goals, of course, resolutions, and then the last step is 2F. 2F is faith and forgiveness. Who do you have to forgive? You have to forgive you. On the way to where you're going, you're going to fail. Let me just tell you now, if you're going to lose 50 pounds, you're not going to eat veggies the whole way. Like you're going to mess up and have a piece of cake, right? It's not the people who fail that always get off of the horse and get out of the way of their goals or get out of the way of the resolutions. It's the people who fail and won't forgive themselves so that they can get back on the horse, get back to the goals, and get back to the resolutions. Look, let me tell you right now, hey, everybody, you know something that's true? You're a human. If you're listening, you're driving, you're walking, you're exercising, you're a human. You know what that means? That means that you're going to succeed and you're going to fail. And sometimes your successes and failures are going to be moments, breaths apart. In one conversation, you'll watch your tongue and you won't say anything negative. And then the very next conversation, you'll say something negative and you'll feel like you're being torn apart. Let me tell you what you're doing. You're growing. And one thing to remember is that all miracles don't happen in a moment. Some miracles take place over a millennia. You don't believe me? Just go look at underwater caves, or go look at any of the things. Look at bamboo. Man, just look at something that doesn't grow right in the moment. And you're that thing. You're that seed sowed. And
Can I highlight that? And maybe listeners don't know, and you can explain this and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like bamboo, doesn't it? It takes something like 15 plus years to grow underground before it shoots up. Is that accurate? So your point is really, really important. You need to have forgiveness of yourself and those around you, because not only are you human, everyone around you is human.
Let's not even worry about people around you.
Okay, that's
fine. Let's not even worry about them, because the truth of the matter is, no matter what anybody else does, your goal is your goal.
Yeah,
your desire is your desire. Your resolution is your resolution. Olympians literally train for 5, 10, 15 years so that they can compete for 17 seconds. Literally, they won't eat their own birthday cake for 8 years. They've had birthdays and no birthday cake because of the discipline that it takes to get those 17 seconds right. No matter what anybody else around you does, still do what you are supposed to do. If you are to forgive, forgive. If they forgive, fine. If they don't, fine. Guess what? Your job was to be more forgiving. So then you work on you. Let me tell you, a man that can control himself can control everything. A woman that can control herself can control everything. So what we're looking at right now is not just, can we have goals? Can we resolve on those goals in the deepest part of ourselves? And can we have faith and forgiveness inside of ourselves to, when we fall off the horse, get back on? But the question is, can we insulate that whole equation so that it does not matter what external things arrive? If you are to lose weight, then externally, yes, it is 4th of July. It is time for ice cream and cake. But guess what? You're here to lose weight. So externally, we pay that no attention. If your job is to become a better leader, because that's what we're here to talk about. If your job is to be a better leader, guess what? Your job is to serve. Your job is to be fearless. Your job is to be first. Your job is to have the faith. Your job is to create the goal. Your job, of course, we have to talk about KPIs and we have to talk about all of this sort of management stuff. And everybody gets that. You know, my staff of, at this point, about 18 people, you know, we all do have to get together and huddle up sometimes. But guess what? If it's time for a problem, I got to face it. And when it's time for success, everybody else gets to enjoy it. You know why? Because I'm a leader. And guess what you are today? You are a leader. Maybe you're the leader of your home. Maybe you're the leader on your job. Maybe you're the leader at your organization, where, you know, your sorority or fraternity or civic organization, whatever. But your job is to lead. Hey, and maybe you're neither of those. Maybe you're none of those. Maybe you're a kid and maybe you don't have any kids and maybe whatever, but you're leading somebody, because we are encompassed about with so many witnesses. Let me tell you, there's somebody who can't wait to see what you post next on social media. It's somebody who, when you get your nails painted a certain color, they're going to get their nails painted that color too, because somebody is always watching you. Somebody's always following you. That's why it's so important for us to lay aside the burden of guilt, to lay aside the weight of past performance or past failures, and to run towards our goals with the resilience and resolution inside, understanding that as we go, our faith and our forgiveness will allow us to fall off that horse, but get right back on. And we don't have to worry about the extenuating circumstances around us. As long as we can manage and master ourselves, then we'll hit our goal. Not only will we hit it, but we'll hit it so much that people will soon say, hey, how are you doing that? What are you doing? And they'll invite you to Cool Podcast so you can talk about it too.
Well, yeah. And it comes down to focus. Like you were saying, when you have that really foundational why in that purpose, and you can focus and you can forgive yourself for the setbacks, and you can have the faith in yourself and in that purpose, you over time you will get better, you will improve. You know, I'm practicing the guitar, I'm practicing the drums. When I first started playing the drums, it's just embarrassing, but over time, you're consistent and you just get a little bit better and a little bit better, and you get more confident. And that's the way it is in anything, in any aspect of life. No matter how much natural talent or lack thereof you may have, if you're persistent, you will get better and you will have bigger impact. And anyways, everything we've talked about today, Jay, has been so much fun. I think you've given lots of really great insights. I love your three elements that you're really focusing on today and sharing with me and my listeners. The time has flown by. I'm going to have to let you go here in just a minute. But before we close, I wanted to give you a chance to share with listeners how they can get connected with you, find out more about your work, your team, and then give us the final word on the topic for today.
Oh, man. You can always just reach out to me. My phone number, 305-209-5375. Call me, text me. That's cool. You can find me on social. You can go to J_the_trader. That's the letter J, then underscore the, then underscore trader, like Jay the Trader or Trader Joe's or whatever. You can visit tradelikeJ.com and email me, or IamJayTheTrader.com. More than anything, you have to know that I'm here with you. When it comes down to this subject, what leaders hate to feel is alone. It'll poison the leadership. Go study any great leader. Moses took millions of people from one place to another. And on the way going to where he was trying to go, there were a lot of great leadership lessons along the way. The same thing happened for Mother Teresa, a fantastic leader. The same thing happened for Gandhi, a great leader. What you have to do if you're a leader, I want you to know you're not alone. Yes, you have to blaze the trail. And yes, nobody's before you. And yes, it's scary. Sometimes everybody has a good Christmas, all because you paid them. And now you don't have a good Christmas because it's your job to pay them and was no money left afterwards. I understand. Let me tell you what leadership is a call to, though. If you are called to lead, you are called to serve. You want to know how to get higher? Get deeper into your service. You want to know how to become more popular? Become less focused on that and focus more on your ability to help people every day. And I'm telling you, you cannot plant seeds and then water them and then they don't grow. That's impossible. Your leadership is a story of you continually planting seeds of positivity in those people around you so that they can grow and become just as good as you. Listen, you're not alone. You're not alone. Reach out to me. Reach out to John. Reach out, because one thing you'll find is that the key to unlock the next door of leadership is right on the next podcast or right around the corner, or some other leader can help you get past the level that you're struggling with. Okay. Hey, holla at your boy. I'm Jay, man. Hit me up anytime. It's love. Hit me.
Thank you, Jay. It has been a real pleasure. You're so much fun to talk with. You're welcome back anytime. I encourage listeners to reach out, to get connected, find out more about what Jay and his team can do for you. And as always, I hope everyone can stay healthy and safe, that you can find meaning and purpose at work each and every day. And I hope you all have a great week. The alchemy of truly remarkable leadership. Ordinary, everyday actions that produce extraordinary results. Consider how the nature of work has shifted over the past 50 years. With increased globalization, rapid technological advancement, and the shift in economic composition, the average job of today looks very different than the average job of 50 years ago. What will the jobs and organizations of tomorrow look like? Moreover, what does this all mean for organizational leaders? What are the core competencies and capabilities of organizations and their leadership that are prepared for continued disruption and geopolitical and socioeconomic shifts? Regardless of what the future holds, increasingly, leaders need to be socially minded, data-driven, decisive, champions of talent, and disruptors of the traditional notions of leadership, teams, organizations, and work. The alchemy of truly remarkable leadership will help you to explore your own leadership competencies and capabilities and consider ways to apply and implement them into your workplace and personal life.
check out Human Capital Innovations magazine, Human Capital Leadership. Human Capital Leadership is a free, interactive e-magazine with the mission to help individuals, leaders, and organizations find innovative approaches to maximize their human capital potential. We publish issues quarterly in August, November, February, and May. Take a look at the latest issue and let us know what you think.
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. I hope you stay healthy and safe and that you have a great week.